All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Even Eden. It's been a couple months since I've had an episode come out, but I invited the underdog's mentor, Tay Lynch, on my podcast episode today. And I wanted to ask Taylor on here because the theme of this episode is locked in, about getting locked into your highest timeline, about remembering who the fuck you are. And I asked Taylor to be on here today because she has been embodying what it is to be locked into the mission. And so, Taylor, thank you so much for being on here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
You about made me cry, man.
Oh,
Can we start by I think we are our own biggest critics
yeah.
because you saying that made me feel so good because I've been in my mind the wrong place to be, that I'm not doing enough, or I'm behind, or I need to punish myself because of this. And really having to learn how to just get present again and not listen to every thought that comes in. But you saying that really just opened my eyes to, we are way too hard on ourselves, because you're seeing in me what I'm kind of not, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And I'm really glad that you said that because it's so true. It's like because of this like gnarly spiritual growth journey. And this is like so like I make these podcast episodes just for the people who are truly on this path, the people that really resonate with my story, with your story. That's why I have you and Gaff and, the same people on all the time is because it's like, this is for people who are genuinely committed to their growth and it requires a lot of isolation. We are all like, it's like every time we try to get back out in the world, it's like reality slams us back into isolation. It's like, nope, go do more work. It's time to keep building. And it's like being in that isolation, you don't really get to perceive yourself correctly. And, that's why I wanted to hold up that mirror to you, dude, because you like you're one of the people on this path that truly like not only were you the first person that truly validated my experience of everything that I went through when it came to gang stalking and the secret societies and being hunted and all this, but you are somebody that is just like the ultimate go-getter. And every time like you are progressing, I feel like we have a very similar pathway of like building on each other of like, hey, like this is what I'm going through. Help me out here and I'll help you out. And that's kind of what it's all about. And so I see you, dude, and you were in that season um of building. And there was one of your videos recently where it's like nobody tells you about the part of, being an entrepreneur, of how expensive it is before you see the return. And I can relate to that so much. So do you want to expand on that? Because that's something that like I think a lot of people need more guidance on before they really go headfirst into their entrepreneurship journeys.
Yeah. So I, I think that, don't ever let the cost of it deter you, because we're always going to start with where we are and what we have. Like Gaff, it's
Hmm.
the perfect example of she ain't got nothing
Hmm.
and she's figuring it out.
Yep.
And but when you start making any type of money, or if you have money going in, I mean, but you have to put in to get back. And that's just entrepreneurship, that's business.
Hmm.
And you have to invest into that business to grow that business. And I'm investing into things that make my business easier, right? That are going to save me time, or create like funnels or things like that. But I'm just starting to invest into like higher level things 3.5 years later.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, there's all kinds of different things that you're going to have to invest into so that you can build your brand and make a name for yourself out here.
Yeah, totally. And I think the number one thing that you mentioned, it's like you just said 3.5 years later. The number one thing that people like really don't get is you gotta have fucking patience, dude. This shit does not happen overnight. Yes, you can, their only like moment and measure of time is now, but it's like this is a process because before, when I first started my business of, I knew I had to show up online and when I was still being gang stalked and it was all this crazy stuff. But it's like when I created Ancient Souls Collective, when I created my business and, moved to Bali, um, I, dude, I was not ready, man. I did not know what the fuck I signed up for because it was like, I was like, oh, I'm gonna create this website, and and so I got like Zoom, and I got Calendly, and I got all these things, and then it was like all of these, like, down the road, I was being, it's and everything's initiation. I was being initiated. I was like, oh shit, now I need this, now I need this, and it is like, like you said earlier, it's expensive to have things that cultivate ease, but you do need those things. And what I've found is um whenever I invest into myself, that ROI, the return on investment, it literally comes back. It's because it's so super spiritual. You're stepping into the identity of the person that is making more money because you have those things in place. And that's the importance of it, is like you have to understand, yeah, you're spending money, but it's like it's gonna come back because the most successful version of you, the CEO, like, do they have hella systems in place that are all coming back to you?
I'm so happy you're saying this. I had this epiphany last night
Yeah.
as I was like building my programs, and I finally like stepped it up to where I'm, creating automatic emails
Mm.
and email subscriptions and freebies and all of these things that I've seen other people do
Yeah.
years back that I didn't feel like I needed to do years back because I
Mm.
was already making money. Right. So, anyways, as I was doing that last night, I was like, oh my God, I am her. It
Right.
like hit me like thinking about Trent Shelton, as he's out here doing all these big things. And it's like, I'm stepping into that version of myself
Yeah.
by taking these actions. And I don't know where that change comes from, right? It's like things just turn on one day and you're like, okay, I'm going to be this person now. And it's so wild. I don't know. And I think that for me, it always happens when there's like a hard season. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Or some resistance or adversity. And then it's like, okay, it's time to become somebody new.
No, totally. Yeah, absolutely. And it's so funny because I saw in your story that you were making those email subscriptions, and that's like literally like a download that I got the other day too. Is like I need to start doing that. I don't know what just happened to my light. But yeah, and so it's like I feel like it's like this collective mindset of we're all just aligning into it's a natural progression where it's like you're always in the right place at the right time. And whenever you feel stagnant or stuck, it's because there's another level that you're resisting. And you have to find out why that resistance is there. Because I've read online the other day that creating a business, and it's just like the physical journey that you've also been on. It's it's a business journey or a physical journey. It's disguised as a spiritual one, or the other way around. But it's like it's so spiritual, man. Like being an entrepreneur is the gnarliest thing. Besides, transforming your body physically. It's
Yeah, not everybody's built for it either. You know
no.
what I mean? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude. So like what is your best advice to the people that are watching this, like that have not started their entrepreneurship journey, like how to lock in and just go for it? Because for me, like I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't ready, man. I had my like head in the sky. I was just like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome. And then like it was like just the initiations down the line where it's just like, oh shit, this is actually really hard. I was not ready, but now that I've done it for a while, it's like I'm addicted to the thrill of the game, you know?
Right. Absolutely. So this is like hard for me to answer. It's because there's so much I want to say. But
Right.
number one, your life will not change until you change yourself. Like you will never become if you don't take the steps and take the action and start becoming it. And perfection, you got to get that out of the way. It's messy action. It's all about messy action.
Hmm.
You're going to suck at first. You're going to be crappy. You're going to create horrible content. You're not going to know what you're doing. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to be frustrating. And that's where all the growth takes place, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, my best advice is you got to know why. You have to have a reason why. What's your mission? What's going to what's going to be the reason you start? What's going to be the reason that you don't stop? And at least for me, that's enough. I know why I'm doing this every day, even when it gets hard or I'm going through a lot of testing or trials or tribulations. It's like forward and up is the only way that I can go because of why I'm here doing this. So having that why, and then dump your excuses and go. And like you said too, it's a process. Stay consistent, trust the process, be patient, believe, allow it to unfold, and really trust that process. Enjoy that process of becoming, because it's all about the evolution. When I look back at who I was 3.5 years ago, I done died and rebirthed like 5 times already.
Woo! Bars, dude. That was fire. No, seriously, like that was an incredible answer and so true. Because you and I had a conversation the other day of like, um, just wanting to fall in love with the process because sometimes it gets really fucking uncomfortable. And it's just like, you want to, like, it's like, your potential. Like, after everything that you've survived, everything that you've been through, dude, it's like, come on, you are destined for greatness. That's why all these people were hunting your ass and, like, because it's like that version of you back then, fuck no. Like, that was not who you're destined to become. But these people, they saw the Akashic records of, like, the monster that it built in you, right? And so it's like, the end point, and you're just like, it's the ability to, collapse that timeline between who you are right now and the highest version of yourself, but also the acceptance of, knowing that it's the process to get there. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's like little by little consistency and unfuckwithable belief in yourself. Unfuckwithable belief, because I've had a client that I've been working with for like about a year, and we were talking about there's certain reasons, like, why his content isn't working and all this, and I'm like, I hate to say it, but it's like, it's because there is somewhere inside you that you don't believe in yourself. It is somewhere inside, because this is all that is. It's like, for me, like, I feel like my life started really, really working out when I knew there was no possible way that I could lose. And I collapsed all the other realities where that was a possibility. This is the infinite realm of possibilities. So what you have to do is you have to eliminate the versions of yourself, like, just kill them off, bang, 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 and basically, spawn into like this version of yourself that is like the Terminator, bro. It's like, you cannot be fucked with.
I was just recording a TikTok before we got on here and my phone died. So I'm pretty sure I might have lost it. But I was literally saying that in that TikTok. You got to quit giving yourself the option to lose. Take it
Yeah.
off the table and quit giving these people outside of you, like, they're doing this and this and this and they're saying
Mhm.
this and this and this and I can't do this because of them. Quit giving them the option to stop you, right? For me, that's what happened with me. It was,
Mhm.
again, a switch. It was, I decided I'm about to make the comeback of a lifetime. Get out of my way.
Yes.
And I have been like bulldozing ever since. You want to try and attack me here? I'm going to kick you back.
Right.
I'm not losing. I'm done suffering. I'm not losing. Watch me.
Fuck yeah.
So
Like,
yeah, I really really resonate with that. You can't give yourself that option to lose, or you will.
no,
You're going to
dude.
go back to the comfort and the familiar and the easy because you're giving yourself the choice.
Right, exactly. And this is where identity comes in. And because, I know that your work is shifting into identity work as well. And that's like basically like the like meat and potatoes of the work that I do, also, because identity precedes reality. And it's like, if you embody the identity of the version of yourself that is the most highly successful version, which is what we were talking about having those systems in place, about having the funnels, about having potential employees down the line, right? It's like, that's the version of yourself that can't fucking be beat, because it's like the version of yourself that is at the highest echelon, the highest tier, it's like they're operating at a level that someone like they would never allow themselves to have negative self-talk or to basically be like, oh, like, like maybe I'll go back to a matrix job or like, no, no. Like for me, like that was motivation enough. Like when I that's why I moved outside of the country, dude, is like, and I spent the last year in, not gonna lie, in fear of having to go back to an old timeline. I was like, dude, if I have to go back to the bar with the witches and like, oh my God, I like literally that was the fire under my ass though, because I was like, no, no, that's not gonna fucking happen to me. And looking back, a year later, I learned so much, and I'm also like the number one thing that I wish I could tell myself 1 year ago is you got to have more faith in God, man. If God's going to bring you like to a new timeline, you have to understand that God is the one that's going to provide you with the path forward so you don't fucking lose. And so that's where faith really comes in is like, spiritual entrepreneurship is so much more than just being like a business owner. It's like you're building the business with God. And when it's backed by God and faith and belief in yourself, you can't fucking lose.
Yeah, and I mean it's his vision that we're manifesting into this world anyways. He
Right.
wants it here. You know, like he, she,
Exactly.
God, it, source. Anyways, yeah, like we're just the vessel.
No, totally. Totally. So tell me about your transition from being a tarot card reader into what you're doing now. Because I know that that's like kind of the natural progression that it's been. And I see that you are taking more of a mentorship route, which is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So cards were really fun because oh my gosh, the truth. Finally, right? Finally, truth, clarity, answers, exposing all this stuff, right? It lit me up. And I can't even believe how I blew up, right? It was my first ever big timeline hop ever, ever. And it built me a life, a great life. And I noticed after 2 years of it, it started to get really unfulfilling because it was so negative. I'm tired of talking about all this negativity all the time. And it's like people don't have the tools or what they need to do something with this. So I stewed on it for a while. My business slowed down. I went through that really hard season where everybody just disappeared. My views dropped. I mean, you name it, I was going through it. And during that whole slowdown season, it's like, well, how can I wasn't happy anyways, right? I was, man, my calendar's full, and do I really want to sit and do this all day, you know?
Right.
And so, anywho, it just got to a point where I wanted to provide solutions for these people going through all of this. I don't want to tell them about all of this and not be able to provide solutions. So that's kind of where I'm at now. It's like it's time to, this is what they did. Now what are we going to do with it? How are we going to alchemize it? How are we going to transmute it? Let's build the comeback story.
Absolutely. I love that. Yeah, no, watching your progression from being like, mainly tarot into mentorships, it's been such a beautiful thing because the algorithm favors tarot. A lot of the collective is still they're still learning discernment, and a lot of people they heavily, heavily rely on tarot as it's a comfort thing. It feeds the ego, right? And it's like because when you're going through those seasons of, you don't know what the fuck is going on. We all had to go through it like well, my the lights went back on. But we all had to go through it where it's like, tarot is a natural part of the journey where it's like your spiritual awakening. You seek refuge and solace in that community. But it gets to a certain point where, and this is the work that I do, of becoming your own oracle, of remembering that this is the realm of infinite possibilities. And so to focus on what has happened and what is happening, then that's going to keep you locked in a certain outcome. And it's like, so to basically become the limitless being that you are, you have to know that like it's all you. You have to take control of your fucking life. And that's why I'm so happy that you're getting into that work, because it's like it's really your journey is really showing people the pathway out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it really hit me too. Like, I can't build generational wealth reading cards. There's more for me. And then it's like I want greater impact.
Right.
I can do so much more than just tell you the truth. And also, I mean, I don't know if this is the greatest thing to say publicly, but I dealt with a lot of victim mindset, and it drained me heavily.
Yeah.
Drained me. And I want to work with people that want to win. I don't want to keep working with people that want to cry.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I
And
hate
it's
this. Maybe, I don't know, Sam. It's rough
no,
to say
no,
that publicly, but
dude,
it's how I feel.
I'm so glad that you brought that up, because that's like I do want to talk about this, because this is my ultimate shift that's happening within me right now. Of, this theme of this episode is lock the fuck in. And I have had to, and this is like something that I like have not done before, but it's like I've had to turn away clients that are not aligned. Because, and it's not about the money for me at this point, dude. It's like I'm here to serve my fucking purpose. I know that I'm divinely supported. I know
Right.
that. That's a belief system that is hardened in my reality. And my belief creates the architecture of how it shows up. So I know I'm always divinely supported. I haven't worried about money in a while because of that. No matter what my bank statement says, it's because I know, right? And the people I want to work with are people that are genuinely willing to do the fucking work. I have certain clients that are just rock stars, bro. Like they have changed the way that I do my work, because it's like I am so grateful for their trust. I'm so grateful for their dedication to themselves. And it makes the work that I do worth it. And the people that show up in my sessions that are not doing that, I'm like, what are you doing here? And it's like, and it sounds fucked up, but it's like, I don't deal with that anymore, because it's like for identity, I am I'm moving into high ticket, where it's like, people don't buy high ticket if they're not going to do the work.
Right. That's exactly like a affirmation I've been writing in my journal every single day.
Yeah.
The people that I'm attracting, and absolutely, I'm listening.
Yeah. No, I mean, because and for the people that are watching this, I think the only people that are gonna watch my podcast all the way through are people that have followed our journeys for a while. And these are the people that I genuinely fuck with. Like, gang, what's up, fam? But literally, it's like, you know, I want everyone to understand that, like, dude, you are not going to get the life of your dreams. You are not going to manifest the destiny that all these weirdos were trying to steal from you if you're just still fucking addicted to scrolling consumerism, if you're, looping in an old reality, being like, oh yeah, like this is the number one thing, because I've turned a lot of my content into my conscious creation work, because that's something I'm really big on, is architecting your own reality. And a lot of people get stuck in consuming conscious creation videos, because they're like, oh, well, it's okay, I'm the creator, so like I'll worry about it later. It's like, no, dude, you have to change what you're doing in order to change the outer reality. You have to change your belief systems, and that requires work. It doesn't require you to consistently doing the same shit. Otherwise, you're not going to change.
Yeah, it's like you're taking the courses, you're getting all the advice, all the knowledge, but you're doing nothing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I made this deck of cards, and everything you just said, I have a card for them.
Yeah.
Like ego traps, and doom scrolling is one of them.
Yes.
And it's so people don't have to sit with their own thoughts. They don't have to face themselves. It's a distraction.
100%. And it's like, everybody wants the result without doing the work. and this is part of like, I'm going to loop back into falling in love with the journey itself, is you have to romanticize the process. Like for me, dude, like I have like a million journals. Like I literally, they're scattered everywhere. I travel a lot, but it's like I have so many journals that I like my suitcase weighs like freaking like 10 extra pounds because I just have a stack of journals. And it's like, I love, I just love the process. Like I really do. It's like there's certain things that I do in my tier two and tier three, become your higher self and the embodied architect, where there's different workbooks where it's like to get neutral to these triggers and to do the timeline embodiment practices to become your higher self. It's like the process of the catharsis of pen to paper. People underestimate that shit so much. And I'm like, no, dude, it's like this is tried and true in my entire reality. This is how I've activated all of my spiritual gifts, is by becoming the clean slate, the clear vessel for God to operate through. Do you have any advice for the collective about, you know, if they are watching this right now and not just like, starting their entrepreneurship journey, because there's a natural progression towards this. To the people that are watching this, the importance of content creation in your purpose and how it is basically like your fear of being seen, the fear of visibility, give them advice on just the natural progression of what that's like.
Yeah, I don't think that people even realize how much they have that fear of being seen and visibility.
Hmm.
People will make the excuse of whatever to avoid social media at all costs, but really it's stemming down deep to visibility wounds and things like that. So I've been on social media since I was 22. I'm 33. So I've been doing this a long time. And the best advice that I can give is you just have to start. Like confidence will grow, but you have to show up unconfident, insecure, looking like a fool before you're ever going to show up with confidence and security and be able to make impact or have any type of influence, right? So, taking that first step, making the video, making the post, looking like a fool, it it matters. Going live, and the next time you do it, it's going to be a little bit easier. You know what I mean? So, you just have to take that step and continue to take it over and over and over and over and over again, and that's how you're going to get good. That's how you're going to grow. Also, I want to say something with that too. That how do I want to put this? You have to put in the work when nobody's watching, right? Like, I can't tell you how many Instagram lives I did with nobody watching me when I first was learning how to read and do messages. I did a live on Instagram every single day for years, even with no viewers, two viewers that were gang stalkers, getting nothing but hate from people. But I had to show up and do it before anybody was ever even clapping for me, before there was an audience, before I was getting likes or praise or applause. But anyways, I don't know if that answers your question, but you just have to start and keep going and figure it out, and that's how you're gonna get better and get good. Face your fears.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was great because, the reason I brought that up is because like I said a little bit ago, that people want the result. It's like people will see like, my physical transformation that happened for me, the life that I live in Bali, that I have created. I've traveled the world in the past year, and it's like people are like, "How the fuck are you doing this?" And I'm like, "Dude, you like people do not understand what the fuck I did to gain this to access this level, you know?" And it's like the work that I did for years before I saw any results. And so it was like for years I was putting in this work of it was mainly, getting neutral and cultivating the faith that was required for me to take action before I was ready. It was all action before I was ready. And
Yeah, you're never gonna be ready right
ever.
time. Never.
Right. And a perfect example is like when I did my women's retreat, right? It's like I literally woke up one day and I was like, and I received a download. God was like, because I had this big fear of working with women, because of how violated I was by witches. And I was just like, I don't want to work with women. And God's like, guess what? You're doing a women's retreat. And I was like, oh. And so I ended up like announcing it that day. That month is when I was basically accessing like the new levels of opportunity of like the behaviors that required me. And during that month, I was on my fucking game, and it was like all the things that I did was because it was like just I had my schedule just front loaded and I was like super organized. And then I was like, I announced the women's retreat, and the way that it fell into place, like the planning process of it, it was clearly led by God because I did it before I was ready. So therefore, the whole thing, it was so divine. It was like I couldn't even believe, the way that it just panned out. And so that's the whole thing is like about the cultivating the faith. Once you can only move like that, like, before you're ready is when you have the faith that God's going to take care of it if you just do it, you know? And it works every time.
Yeah, I freaking love that so much. I'm kind of going through that right now. So like transitioning from tarot into mentorship, I'm doing this at a time where my business is not booming,
Right.
when everything has been, it's not dead, but I'm not nearly as busy as I used to be. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
And fear and comfort and familiar would be me not taking this risk, taking this next level step, going into something different, right?
Hmm.
Staying with what's familiar and what I know, and just trying to force the continuation of. And what I kind of realized is I was given this season to rest and rejuvenate.
Yeah.
I sit in other people's energy all day long from sun up to sundown for years, very heavy, dark, demonic stuff. I've gone through a lot of attacks by other people's people. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And
Yep.
I've just kind of been in the front line of a lot of negative energy for a long time. And so being blessed with this season to rest and get clear on my vision and my mission and what I'm sent here to do. And then, like, dude, I don't have clients. I have all the time in the world to build something that's going to last forever. Like, build assets, build things that are going to make me money when I'm sleeping, and trust in this time that I'm going to always be divinely provided for. And it has worked out so beautifully so far. And I mean, I'm still pretty fresh into this, but I'm locked in. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see where
Dude,
I'm going to be in a year. I'm really excited.
lock the fuck in, dude. And exactly, and while I was planning that retreat, that was probably the highest acceleration like month like for me. That was in April when I first announced I was going to do that. It was also tax season. I forgot as a business owner that we had to pay fucking taxes, bro, especially to these evil pedophiles. And I was like, and I was freaking out, and then it was like it was just crazy. Like it was like the exact amount of money that I needed for the taxes came in once I relaxed into the faith that it was going to be handled and provided for, and it was. And so that's the whole other thing is like, bro, you have to remember you are the fucking source. You are the source. And so it's like this is another big thing that I need the collective to really, really hone in and understand. It is your belief system that is keeping you fucking looping in this scarcity, dude. And it's like the belief system of like, not feeling like you're going to be supported because and it's not anybody's fault. This is what generational curses do. This is what this realm, this sick narcissistic realm does to you at every angle. It's a fear booby trap. And it's like the last one, they'll always get you with the fear, right? And it's like when you can truly, truly understand and know that you are one with source. And it's like if you say that you're divinely, infinitely provided for, guess the fuck what? You are. But the only thing is you cannot have doubt because doubt will just slam you back into an old storyline. And it's like when you actually move forward with, because, and the reason why I know this and the reason why I move the way that I do is because I have done the crazy thing so much that it's like I've made that leap of faith so many times that I know that's a hardened belief system in my reality now. It's for a fact. You do the crazy thing, you do it before you see the results, and having faith that it's going to work out, and it always does, dude. Always. And so it's like, but it's only because I was willing to take the risk so many times. And it's like that became like that came as a natural byproduct of, just doing the crazy thing of like, moving before you see the proof. And that's who gets rewarded in this, game of, like the Game of Thrones, right? It's like
I'm literally like seeing it like a game in my mind's eye right now as you're saying this.
yeah. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And because it's like, fuck, man. It was in the way that like my higher self like had it set up, like when I moved to Bali, right? I wanted my website set up before I left Hawaii. And it was like I wanted it set up and I was forced to quit my job because I was being attacked so heavily there. I was forced. And then I wanted my website to be set up to make sure that I had clients by the time I landed in Indonesia, right? And my web guy, like he was just like, putting it off. And it was like I already bought the ticket to Bali. And it was like my higher self set it up so that no matter what, I had to just have the faith that I'm gonna get there and it's gonna work out. And guess what? I got there and it's been working out ever since. And it's like, and then that's the whole thing is like, it's because everything was initiation to get me to be like, do you have faith? Okay, bet. Do you have faith? Okay, bet. Do you have faith? And then it was just an endless thing. And so now I'm like, I have so much faith, dude. It's like I'm not worried about it. And so this is my whole thing is like I want everyone to know in order to lock in, you gotta do shit that fucking scares you. You gotta do
100%.
that
And
shit before you're
sorry, I didn't
ready.
mean to cut you off. You're just firing me up.
You're
It's like,
good.
so we have to reprogram here, right? And
Mhm.
I still am working on it every day. Probably for the rest of my life, I will be working on my mind. But it's it's going to be challenging and there's going to be resistance. I just made a post about this. When you take the risk, when you take the leap of faith, when you make the decision like I teach on, right? You got to decide. You can't lose. Well, the darkness, the polarity is going to be like, bet we can pull you back, bet we can make you doubt yourself, bet we can make you come back here, bet we can make you be who you used to be, right? They're going to try. And that's expect that, not in a way of like you want to manifest it, but when it happens, you can't be like, oh my God, they're attacking me. Oh my God, this is going wrong. Right. But that's when the
100%.
training begins, when that resistance comes at you and you're like, nah, God got me. Nah, it's gonna work out. Nah, I'm divinely supported in all that I do. It's gonna work out. I'm good, right? It's like you have to tell yourself that over and over and over when it's chaotic, when your 3D reality is displaying the complete opposite of what you're expecting to happen, right? And I think that that's what makes us become so powerful, like how you're really fully in your power. You're doing it. Like the people that attacked you, Sam, do you ever think about how they're feeling when they watch you? Like you got clients being like, how are you doing this? But them, do you ever think about that?
Oh my God. Well, here's the thing, Tay. I'm so happy you brought that up because I don't think about them at all. Because they're so because like my shit with the people that just continuously tried to fuck me over. Bro, I had so many witches trying to steal my destiny, and they were all people that were close to me, right? And it's like always the proximity, right? And it's like, oh man, the level of like fuckery that I had to go through, and it's just like the obsession, these mental obsession of these weirdos, bro. And it's like and for a while it consumed me when I was still like, heavily in that energy of like, transmuting their fucked up karma that they projected into my field. And it's like I'm at a point where I'm like, I know that they are seething and I couldn't care less. I couldn't get they are fucking I nothinged them because that's the true like level of like being able to dissolve the old story is you don't I don't wish anybody harm. they fucking did that on themselves. They wish themselves harm by fucking with me, bro. I'm just like, and it's like I nothinged them. They're quite literally not even like my enemies like at all, dude. Like they just they played themselves out of, a beautiful person that could have helped them in their life. Then that sucks for
Yeah.
them, you know?
I was on a TikTok live last night and somebody commented, like, I pray for my enemies. And I was like, I don't,
Yeah.
but I absolutely
Bye.
nothing them.
Yeah.
I don't hate them. I'm not wishing the worst, but I'm not wasting my time and my energy praying for people like that. I won't waste another single precious second. But
That's a false light teaching, dude. It's like that's like part of like, the religious indoctrination. A lot of people like because dude, I'm at a point where it's like I know that the war was on our belief systems. I know what Yeshua was really fucking teaching us because I'm embodying those teachings and it's working out great, right? And it's like I don't have time for people that are trying to, they're still navigating their own spiral, and that's okay, right? It's like we all have to go through that. I even looped in, secular Christianity for a while as well, where I thought praying for my enemies was noble and part of the path, right? Uh, the ultimate freedom and liberation comes from nothing, like making them nothing. It's the energetic posture of letting go. And it's just because it's like that's what true forgiveness is. It's like some of the things that these fucking people did, bro, are straight unforgivable. Fully. But what you can do is just acknowledge that like, when you can perceive life as the game that it is, the grand play of the divine, it's just like we are infinite, dude. And it's like just allow it, it's like understand that how it served you and then keep it fucking pushing, keep moving forward.
yeah, I'm so grateful for my experience with the people that did what they did to me because they revealed so much to me about me that I never would have been able to see otherwise, right? Like, I didn't realize how much lacking boundaries or low self esteem and low self worth and people pleasing and validation seeking. And I was like the martyr for my whole life.
Yeah.
How much that was like not me, how far away I was from myself. And if they wouldn't have done what they did and put me into that dark night and that solitude and that isolation, I wouldn't be here. It makes me so emotional. But I love me, man. And this wasn't who I used to be. And I couldn't have got here without them.
I
So,
love that so much, dude. Like literally, and I love your vulnerability, and I love, because it's like I'm on the day that I remembered who I was, like truly, truly remembered. It was the best day of my life, and it was in the middle of so much fucking warfare, bro. It was crazy. And it was like to remember that I was source embodied and that this is like I was literally a Christed being. Then what I just went through was like my initiation to become a Christ. And this is what people need to understand, guys. You're being Christed. This is you are the second coming of Christ. This is what this is. And it's like the reason why they treat you like that is because of who you are, because of how uncorruptible your heart is, because of how pure, like source, like, you are unconditional love embodied. You are God. And it's like to to remember that truth of like, oh, it's like they will hate you because they hated me too. It's like, we're not of the world, dude. We're not. And we're here to make it a better place. We're here to transform it. Um, and it's like this journey is so motherfucking beautiful that it's like I'm like besides like making them nothing, I look back and I'm like, "Oh, you guys really fucked yourselves so hard." It's like, and that sucks for them, man. I genuinely wish them like the ability to self-reflect. I'm not sure if any of them actually will.
right.
Because the only way to access what you truly, truly want, and I'm gonna circle it back like to the like locking in. The only way to actually attain your highest potential and achieve your highest destiny is you have to have the ability to be fucking accountable for everything.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but you know, do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, I was just posting about this. This is, I've noticed too that when I post about this, people don't like it very much. They don't, they run. They run from it. And I literally just sent my video to a couple of people on TikTok, like, please repost this for me because it needs to be seen, right? But you have to take ownership. You have to take ownership over your life. And this is what like my whole career is going into. You can't control what they did. It's not your fault they did what they did, but what you do with it is 100% your responsibility. And you didn't have control over what they did, but you had control over what you allowed, what you tolerated, what you put up with, how many times you gave second and third, ever the case may be. You have control over you. And when you take that ownership and, and you do what you lock in, I wanted to end if you lock in on becoming the absolute all the way around, mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually. You put all of your energy and focus into that. You protect yourself at all costs. You will build yourself into somebody that toxic people can never play with again. And if you don't take accountability and take ownership, you will forever stay a victim. And as long as you identify as a victim, you're going to go through situations where you are victimized and it's nobody's fault but your own.
Yes.
All right.
Woo!
Okay.
Dang. Yeah, no, because like I also made a video on this the other day where it's like the teachings and, you know, there's certain things I don't really like from Bashar, but Bashar does have this one where it's like super on point, where it's the universe is going to unconditionally support you in whatever belief system that you are operating as in the I am. So when you believe that you are a victim, the universe is going to give you situations that are going to validate that experience that you're having as a victim to make you feel more like a victim. So that's why when it's like when it rains, it pours, when people can't get that fucking black cloud away from them, it's because they are perpetuating that within themselves. That's what I'm talking about accountability, bro. Like you said, you're not accountable for the actions of like what these narcissist evil fuckheads did to you. However, you are responsible to, you know, see how those experiences served you, alchemize that into your level up. And then that's how you get out. It's like you have to, you know, it's a tall jump out of the original hole, but then once you get out of it, you're like, "Oh yeah, that shit turned me into the baddest bitch in the universe. Fuck yeah, let's go." You know?
Yeah, absolutely. How do you feel about anger? Like me, anger was like my fuel. My and it still kind of is to this day. It fuels me. It drives me. How do you feel about anger as a spiritual person?
Yeah, I mean, I like so I'm a firm believer that like our emotions are to be used for alchemy, always. Anger for me, like it was it was definitely you know, for me, like I didn't really have as much anger as I did. Like mine was despair. I was in despair a lot. Because they just kept me in such tragic fucking cycles of loss. You know, my sister, my brother, it was just all of this crazy shit back to back. My grandma, it was like it was just nonstop, bro. And it was like I was so sick of crying, you know, like when my twin flame married my best friend and then he kept fucking all my friends. It was like, I was like, dude, like, it was just, I used that, like, you know, rather, because I wasn't really angry. I was just truly, it was despair. And so I alchemized that into, um, you know, being like, it can't fucking end like this. I'm like, no. Like, then, and so I think it's the same, like what you described before of like, I'm not gonna allow this to be the thing that takes me out. They don't get the last say in this. And so I think using your emotions in any capacity is just as long as you can, get the bird's eye perspective of how you're going to win from it.
Yeah. I see a lot of people take their anger and like going external, like, and that's another thing going back to locking in. It's you got to lock in on yourself.
All right, guys. Well, to link it back into locking in, this episode has taken a lot of twists and turns, but in regards to the spiral path that we're all walking on, right? It's all about you, dude. It's literally everything fucking serves you. Everything serves you. If you get anything out of this conversation between Taylor and I today, everything serves you. Your perception is literally creating your reality. And so when you can ascend out of the victim mindset, that is when you can truly lock in into your purpose, into your highest mission. Understand and know that it takes patience, dude. It takes patience, but it also takes tenacity and grit and like don't ever fucking give up, man, because it's worth it. It is worth it. It's hard, but like I wouldn't have it any other way. What about you, Tay?
I wouldn't go back to being my old self or being normal ever. And that's what people need to realize out there that aren't locked in. They're easily distracted and focusing on all the wrong things that aren't going to move the needle forward. It's you're miserable. Do you want to stay that way? Do you want to absolutely stay in your misery and in your suffering and continue to go through the same thing over and over and over again? Because you do not have to. And I just looked out the window and there is a big red cardinal in that tree. I wish I could show it to you. Big. I've never seen a red cardinal so big.
Amazing.
Anyways, the sign, like, hello.
But yeah, I mean, get out of consumption and into creation, dude. Take your attention off of the shit that happened and into what you are here to create. It is literally, this has been a war on your belief system. This has been a war for your attention. What you focus on vibrates, and what vibrates is what will manifest. And so literally like make it positive, make it serve you, and just like just do one thing per day, It's like create one video per day, like rather than scroll like for like endlessly. Or hire me or Taylor as your mentor, and we will get you guys out of these cycles. That's what we're here for. That's what we sacrifice our fucking lives for this shit, dude, is like this is our purpose and we want to help you get into yours.
Yeah, 100%. And like, too, I'm big into like sports, the greatest to ever do it, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, they weren't born that way. They worked for that over and over and over. And anybody that has the success you want to have over and over and over, repetition is everything. So my advice, man, it's lock in on being the absolute best version of you in every single area of your life. That's the only thing you can control, and that's the only thing that matters. And when you do that, give yourself 3 months and your life's going to be totally different. Six,
100%.
a year, 2, 3, you're going to go death and rebirth 5 times, man. It'll be amazing. But just becoming the best version of you and not allowing anything to distract you from doing that and accepting that there's going to be things that we'll try. Don't let it. That's all I got to say on it.
Whew, mic drop. Taylor, thank you so much for joining me. This episode's been fire. Do not overcomplicate it. The truth is fucking simple. Lock in on your purpose. And if you guys need help, get at me on ancientsoulscollective.com or visit Tay, the Underdog's mentor.
I love
Okay.
you.
Mwah. Love you.